Rees-Zammit has learned the true realities of the NFL. Louis Rees-Zammit opened up about the harsh realities of being in the NFL while talking with Jim Hamilton on the podcast Walk the Talk with Jim Hamilton.
And then when you're in the building, is it one of them where you come into the coach's office, how's the family, how are you settling in, or is it as cutthroat as it seems from the outside?
Yeah, it's just cutthroat.
Give us an idea.
He talked about the brutal aspect of being released so abruptly while trying to enter into the NFL. Quick recap. Louis Rees-Zammit was a Welsh superstar, up and coming, who decided that he wanted to go and switch from playing rugby to moving to the NFL to fulfill his dream. He entered into the NFL using the IPP, the International Players Program, and was quickly picked up by the Kansas City Chiefs after putting up tremendous statistics in his tests and combine. Entering the 2024 season, he entered looking to play running back with the Kansas City Chiefs at a chance to be able to make the team. But don't fret, his career hasn't been ended yet. Despite playing a preseason where he struggled to get some regular consistency at the position that he was newly learning, which did ultimately lead to his release from the Kansas City Chiefs, he was eventually picked up before the season started by the Jacksonville Jaguars. He is now currently on the practice squad with the Jaguars, getting a chance to practice at his new position, wide receiver, one that is far more natural to his size and his speed. And while there are talks about him returning possibly back to rugby and playing at the international stage, he seems that he is pretty content with taking the time to learn how to continue to make an impact in the NFL. And it doesn't hurt that he has his family support for his NFL journey. But what does all this mean?
So why does this story matter? I think this is one that I really particularly felt was important to be able to know, because the story of Louis Rees-Zammit is going to impact how many other players are going to be looking at how they're getting into the NFL, or even deciding to. In that same interview that Louis Rees-Zammit did with Jim Hamilton, he talked about the fact that there was another player, and I think it was already revealed, but a player from Australia who was already interested, who was a major player from Australia that's interested in being able to try out for the NFL. And of course, Australia is no stranger to bringing rugby guys, mind you, mostly rugby league guys, but definitely rugby guys over from there, crossing over to the NFL. So And we ask, why does that even matter? Because we're talking rugby, not American football. Well, this is part of what happens whenever you have to find your value proposition. This is what happens when now you have to ask the question, is the financial state of rugby going to be able to make sure that they can support the best athletes that they can get? Obviously, with the U.S., we're not getting that, but in other places, and we're talking about the brain drain of traditional rugby powerhouses like Wales, even though they have financial straight, or what even in South Africa or New Zealand. There is an opportunity to be able to enter into the league and see your money exponentially grow and see your challenges grow and kind of jump the line a little bit and being able to get involved. Now, as we know, just like with Louis Rees-Zammit, there's no guarantees. Louis was with the Kansas City Chiefs at one point, and now he's with the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's still on the practice squad. He's not on a starting squad, so for whatever it's worth, it doesn't guarantee that they're going to see success there, and especially at those skill positions. But it's important to be able to be aware, because this infects the way that people will be perceiving the game. There's always this slight chance that if there's enough players that cross over in this time period, because, before there was, but as things have evolved, they've worked and revolutioned the process of being able to train the players the way they're supposed to. If you continue to see any increment of success grow, you might find rugby to end up being a farm system for the NFL. And I don't think that's a valuable prop for the rugby. It's a diminutive prop, even though a lot of people go, like, especially in the U.S., we use it as a means of maybe trying to recruit or bring rugby into the schools. Like, hey, if you do rugby, you might be able to be better in American football, and your coaches will be better. And in that, it makes sense because we're a niche population, but of the overall stance, not great. So you don't want rugby to end up being a minor league of the sport, but This is the stuff that you have to find out. This is the stuff that you have to find out. You got Christian Wade right now with Bath, who's had his stint in the NFL, but absolutely killing it in rugby. So in that case, you go like, man, as an athlete, are they able to compete at the same level? Of course, it's different codes, different sports, different thought process. And I love that Louis Rees-Zammit was able to talk about that with Jim Hamilton. Like, yo, this isn't the same. Like the way that you have to perform here is different than where you perform on rugby. So to make this comparison of the two is disingenuous. But that being said, again, the more data and information you have, the easier you find to try and insert people in to be able to maximize. And the NFL is always working to evolve, change, and maximize what they do. That is why they are the richest sports league in the world, hands down. So I think it's something that we need to watch. It's absolutely something that we need to watch. And, we never know. But let me know what you guys think. Like, do you feel like what we got going on in rugby is sustainable enough that there could be a brain drain and it doesn't affect it? Or do you feel like, hey, man, you see these guys going through and it's kind of like, all right, go get your money. Maybe it can actually bring a different level of attention over to the rugby on an international or even a sponsorship scale that can be able to increase it. Of course, we're talking about more so in maybe non-traditional powerhouse places, but of course the powerhouse areas can still be effective because they still need the attention and the access to resources as much as anybody else. So, I want to know what your thoughts are on this. Let me know.
Buckwheat is changing lives. My name is GiftTime. I'm here with Health Enhanced Foods, and I want to tell you about one of my favorite products on our shelves, Buckwheat Baking Mix. Buckwheat is a seed that is incredibly nutrient and protein dense. But what makes it even more important,
That buckwheat baking mix
is absolutely gluten-free. A lot of times whenever people have buckwheat mixes, they actually even hold wheat inside of it. So it's not fully gluten. And if you're a person that is celiac or diabetic, or you're just really trying to be health conscious, it's not something that you want to have to worry about. What makes our buckwheat baking mix even more important is that it is versatile. You can use it for pancakes, you can use it for waffles, you can use it for making loaves of bread, you can make it for cupcakes. But what helps even more is that it is allergen-free, it is nut-free, it is dairy-free, that there is no additional additives in it. There's no leavening there, so that if you want to be able to raise your bread, you can put in the baking powder yourself and get it fluffy. If you don't, you absolutely do not have to. You get the bread that you love without the cost to your health. You can absolutely find Buckwheat Baking Mix at healthenhancedfoods.com. Absolutely check it out. Get your nostalgia back. Get back to eating and loving the way that you are, and absolutely get back to the energy that you know that you can get without having to destroy yourself. I'm looking forward to seeing you get it. Let's go!